In 2001, Hollywood's most celebrated love story came to a sudden and brutal end. Tom Cruise filed for divorce from Nicole Kidman, and the world was stunned. But what if this wasn't just another messy celebrity breakup? What if it was something far more calculated? According to former high-ranking Scientology insiders, the church saw Nicole Kidman as a threat and allegedly launched a campaign of psychological warfare to tear her marriage apart. This is the story of how they claim it all went down. They were the ultimate power couple: Tom Cruise, the biggest movie star on the planet, and Nicole Kidman, the statuesque and talented actress who had captured his heart. For a decade, their romance was a real-life fairy tale. They met on the set of Days of Thunder in 1989, and the chemistry was instant. Cruise divorced his then-wife, Mimi Rogers, and married Kidman on Christmas Eve of 1990. To the public, they were a vision of glamour and devotion. They adopted 2 children, Isabella and Connor, and it looked like they had the perfect life. But behind the dazzling smiles, a powerful and secretive organization was allegedly watching, waiting, and plotting a force that, according to its critics, saw their fairy tale not as a love story, but as a problem that needed to be solved. When Tom and Nicole married, Tom was already deep in the world of Scientology. Wanting to support her husband, Nicole jumped in too. According to her former Scientology auditor, she was a fast pre-clear, and other ex-members claim she progressed with remarkable speed, reaching the advanced spiritual level of OT2 in about 2 years. For a time, she seemed committed. But Nicole was different. Her father was a prominent psychiatrist in Australia, a profession Scientology considers an enemy. Because of this, she was reportedly flagged as a potential trouble source, or pizza label for someone connected to a person deemed antagonistic to the church. Former high-ranking member Mike Rinder has claimed that if she weren't Mrs. Tom Cruise, this family tie would have made her ineligible to even participate in advanced Scientology courses. Over time, sources say Nicole grew disillusioned with the church's leader, David Miscavige, and the control he seemed to have over her husband's life. By the early 90s, she began to quietly distance herself from the organization. While there's no public record of a formal declaration at the time, former members allege that in the eyes of the church, this made her an enemy, a suppressive person, or SP. That's a designation that puts someone on par with historical figures like Hitler, and practicing Scientologists are forbidden from having any contact with them. According to these insiders, Nicole Kidman had gone from a prized asset to a dangerous adversary, standing right next to their most valuable celebrity. The late 1990s seemed to be a turning point. The couple moved to London for a grueling, nearly 2-year shoot for Stanley Kubrick's final film, Eyes Wide Shut. According to former Scientology executives like Mike Rinder, during this time away from the church's hub in Los Angeles, Cruise started to drift and began ignoring phone calls from David Miscavige, something that would have been unthinkable before. This reportedly sent shockwaves through the church's leadership. Rinder and another former top official, Marty Rathbun, claimed Miscavige was furious, believing Nicole Kidman's influence was the reason he was losing his grip on Tom Cruise. She was pulling him away, and Miscavige allegedly needed to get him back. This is where the story shifts from a marital rough patch to what former insiders describe as a covert campaign. In the explosive documentary Going Clear, Marty Rathbun made a shocking allegation. He claimed David Miscavige personally gave him a mission to facilitate the breakup of Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. The alleged goal was to remove what the church saw as a negative influence and bring Tom firmly back into the fold. To accomplish this, former insiders claim the church deployed a series of tactics straight out of a spy movie. The most explosive allegation, made by both Marty Rathbun and Mike Rinder, is that the church orchestrated a campaign to wiretap Nicole Kidman's phone. Rathbun alleged that Cruise, fueled by paranoia that Kidman was confiding in the church's enemies, requested the surveillance himself, and the church eagerly coordinated it. But the alleged sabotage wasn't just technical, it was psychological. While in the UK, the church sent a top executive to audit Cruise. Auditing is a central Scientology practice, a kind of spiritual counseling. However, former members like Mike Rinder claimed these sessions were weaponized to reinstill Scientology doctrine in Cruise and create a distance between him and Nicole. Perhaps the most heartbreaking tactic alleged by critics was the alienation of their own children. After the divorce, Isabella and Connor chose to live with their father and remain in the church. Former Scientologists, most famously Leah Remini in her book Troublemaker, claimed the children were taught to see their mother as an enemy. Remini recounted a conversation where she says Bella Cruz called her mother a For years, Nicole Kidman's relationship with her two eldest children appeared fractured, an estrangement many critics believe was not just the choice of the children, but the result of the church's controversial disconnection policy. In February 2001, the world was shocked when Tom Cruise abruptly filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Nicole, by her own account, was blindsided. Around the time of the split, she also suffered a devastating pregnancy loss. The dream had turned into a nightmare. From the outside, it was a sudden end to a Hollywood dynasty. But for those who claim to know what was happening behind the scenes, it was mission accomplished. Mike Rinder wrote that David Miscavige was happy that the negative influence of Nicole was no longer dragging Tom away. The Church of Scientology has consistently and vehemently denied these allegations, labeling them entirely false and the claims of former members as ludicrous and made up. This story is one of the most debated in modern Hollywood history. What do you believe happened? Was this simply a marriage that ran its course, or was a powerful organization pulling the strings? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to see more deep dives into Hollywood's biggest stories, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. In the years that followed, the paths of Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman split dramatically. Tom became more public and passionate in his support for Scientology than ever before, solidifying his role as the face of the organization and a close confidant of David Miscavige. Nicole Kidman, on the other hand, went quiet on the subject. She rarely spoke of the marriage or of Scientology, choosing to throw herself into her work. The very next year, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in The Hours. She would go on to remarry country star Keith Urban, have two more daughters, and build a celebrated career far from the shadow of the church. While she has always spoken with love for her adopted children, their relationship remained a subject of public fascination. For critics of Scientology, the years they were rarely seen together were a quiet testament to the alleged impact of the church's disconnection policy. In recent years, there have been some signs of a thaw, but the distance remains a heartbreaking footnote to one of Hollywood's most iconic and controversial chapters, a cautionary tale about the collision of love, fame, and a faith that, according to its critics, can demand unwavering loyalty, sometimes at a tremendous personal cost.